Hey guys, welcome to my pregnancy website. I am so happy for you. Congratulations on your awesome new little bundle. I'm so excited for you. This was one of the coolest journeys that I've ever had, and it made me learn more about myself than I ever thought that I would want to learn, really. And I want to share that with you. This site is to empower you. Because I feel like we spend so much time in pregnancy going with what everybody else wants. Really, we spend so much of our lives that way. And this is the time, more than anything, for you to figure out what you want and get it. Because you know what? You're making a human being. And that's kind of a big deal, just a little bit. And there are powers that you have in your body that you would never imagine. I want to say, for one thing, that I was never the crunchy person. I was never the, natural, holistic, even eating right or eating real food. I lived on like Hot Pockets and, pot pies and things like that because I was lazy and I didn't like cooking. And I didn't, my mom didn't like cooking either. So I just never wanted to spend time on it. There were other things on my mind. There still are other things on my mind. But when I got pregnant with my son, I didn't have an OB in the area. I didn't, I had a gynecologist and he had actually retired from OB practice. And by the time I called him to tell him I was pregnant, he had retired from GYN practice. That's how often I went. And I was just, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just assumed I was going to do what everybody else did. Although the closest hospital I knew I didn't want to go to because I had seen 2 of my sisters-in-law give birth there and I wanted no part of it. But a friend of mine was really into natural birth and she's like, oh my gosh, there's this birth center. It was like 45 minutes away. But she's like, they have midwives and it's all just, and I said, okay, well, I'll go check it out. And I learned a little bit and I was like, okay, well, this sounds neat. I think I could do it. I mean, maybe I have the pain tolerance, who knows? And through that whole cycle, I just learned so much. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about what I could do and what I should actually be empowered to do. I learned about doulas. I became a doula shortly afterward. I learned about, midwives. I learned about the difference between a birth center and having a baby at home. I had my second one at home. Way better, by the way. If you're afraid, just find a good midwife. For heaven's sake, that's the difference that makes. There are some women who are empowered enough that they can do a birth completely at home by themselves. I'm not quite there yet, but you know what? Having a great midwife and, a doula / birth attendant and my husband there was all I needed for that second birth. I just wanted, somebody to help me remember to relax. That's all I needed. I want to show you that it's not crazy. I want to teach you that no matter where you give birth, it's great, but I want you to feel like it doesn't have to be always a risk thing. This isn't a disease. This is something amazing that your body can do, that your body's conditioned to do. So I want you to get that power back and be less afraid of the things that could happen, because there are horrible things that could happen in the hospital as well that wouldn't happen at a birth center or a home birth, due to, the way they do things. The thing about, well, I'll go into all that later, but I want you to make sure you check out this information. Check out my blog, check out, what I post in here, because this is the stuff that I just want you to think about. Wherever you give birth, you're going to have an amazing baby. It's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you when it's all said and done. But I want you to leave that experience feeling enriched and not deprived. I want you to leave feeling like you accomplished something amazing, because you did. And I want you to leave without postpartum depression. I want you to leave without feeling robbed. So I hope you get something amazing from this site, and I can't wait to hear your birth stories.